All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Um, I will get the typed version of the schedule posted by today. I have it 99% finalized. So I'll get that posted in Canvas, but the modules should all be correct. And then my next step is just to go through and make sure I have due dates assigned to all the assignments. So that way they'll show up on your to-do list in Canvas. So I will get that done today and by tomorrow at the latest. So today we're going to cover chapters 1 and chapter 2 from the book. We are going to do some math today. So, if you need a pencil, there's plenty of pencils up here. And I will hand out some handouts here in just a moment for you to follow along. But before we do that, let's just talk about revenue management in general. Okay. Actually, pause. Before we do that, we're going to do an activity. Okay, so for revenue management, we are going to break it down kind of very basically and very simply put. Revenue management is selling the right room to the right guest on the right day for the right price. Okay. And so we'll talk a little bit more about our revenue strategies that we utilize for that. But this activity is something that I experienced back in 2020. And I thought it was a really great way to kind of demonstrate how revenue management can be effective. Okay. So I'm going to go through a list of reservations. Okay. I'm going to repeat each one twice, and then I'll move on to the next one. Okay. You have to decide whether you want to take that reservation or whether you want to let it go. Okay. So, for example, if I say something like the corporate rate checking in on Tuesday for 3 nights. Okay. If you want to take that, then you would just write $85 on Tuesday, $85 on Wednesday, and $85 on Thursday, right? Checking in on Tuesday for 3 nights, corporate rate. Okay. And so you're going to basically kind of fill in your little 5-room hotel as best as possible. Okay. If you don't take the reservation, that's okay. You can't call someone back and say, just kidding, we want to give you a room. Okay. So if you pass it up, then you just pass it up. But we'll go from there. Okay. So I'm just going to read through some reservations, some different guests. We're using a AAA rate of 115. Our rack rate is 250. Okay. Our corporate rate is $85. Our special event rate is 245, and the government rate is 105. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Okay. Oh, here comes Logan. Perfect. All right. Okay, one more quick explanation of what we have. Okay. You have a 5-room hotel right here, rooms 101 through 105. Okay. And your goal is to fill those rooms as much as possible. We're trying to sell the right room to the right guest on the right day for the right price. Okay. So I'm going to read through a few different reservations. Okay. So pretend you're picking up the phone and I'm going to call and you're going to ask me what reservation do you want? And I'm going to give you, for example, we have up here on the board, Tuesday night checking in for the corporate rate of $85 for 3 nights. So you literally just write $85 in those 3 nights, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Okay. So you don't have to do the 85. Don't do the 85 right now. That's just for the example. Okay. So I'm just going to read through a few reservations and you decide when you want to take it. If you don't want to take it, then just pass. I'm going to read each one twice and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay. So the first one is the corporate rate of $85, checking in on Sunday for 4 nights. So it's the corporate rate of $85, checking in on Sunday for 4 nights. Okay. Again, you can choose to take it or you can choose to not take it. If you don't take it, don't write anything on your paper. Just leave it blank. Okay. Number 2, the rack rate of $250, checking in on Tuesday for 1 night. So the rack rate, checking in on Tuesday for 1 night. Number 3, the government rate, checking in on Monday for 3 nights. The government rate of 105, checking in on Monday for 3 nights. The event rate, checking in on Thursday for 3 nights. The event rate, checking in on Thursday for 3 nights. I did forget to mention that we're not moving our guests from one room to the next. So you can't put, like, in this case right here, what I just say, event rate Thursday for 3 nights. You can't do Thursday, Friday, and then put the event rate up here on Saturday in room 101 because it's even though it's open, we're not going to move our guests from one room to the next. Okay. Number 4 was the event rate check-in on Thursday for 3 nights. Number 5, the AAA rate of 115, checking in Wednesday for 3 nights. The AAA rate, checking in Wednesday for 3 nights. The corporate rate, this is the next one. The corporate rate, check in Tuesday for 5 nights. Yep. So this is a different reservation. The corporate rate, checking in on Tuesday for 5 nights. Number 7, the government rate, checking in Sunday for 7 nights. The government rate of 105, checking in on a Sunday for 7 nights. Number 8, a corporate rate, checking in Sunday for 7 nights. A corporate rate, checking in Sunday for 7 nights. As many reservations as you can accommodate. If you get to a reservation and you don't have a room available, then you have to pass it up because it's not available. Number 9 is the event rate, checking in Wednesday for 4 nights. The event rate, checking in Wednesday for 4 nights. Number 10, the corporate rate, checking in Sunday for 3 nights. The corporate rate, checking in Sunday for 3 nights. Number 11, the corporate rate checking in Friday for 2 nights. The corporate rate checking in Friday for 2 nights. Corporate, yep. Number 12, the rack rate checking in Sunday for 7 nights. The rack rate checking in Sunday for 7 nights. Number 13, the event rate checking in Friday for 2 nights. Event rate checking in Friday for 2 nights. Okay. That's it. No more reservations. Okay. So what I would like you to do is add up the columns of each day. Okay. Add up the totals from each day. And we'll just start from there. Okay. All right, so once you get your the daily totals, go ahead and add up what your total revenue is for the week. Number 7 was the government rate checking in on Sunday for 7 nights. And 11, so the rate is the government for 105. And then 11 is the corporate rate checking in Friday for 2 nights. Friday for 2 nights, that's the corporate rate of 85. You're welcome. All right, Cecilia, what was your total? Okay. Victor, what'd you get? Okay, excellent. 5,545. Okay. Diego, what'd you get? 3,500. Awesome. Rosa and Logan are still calculated. That's okay. $5,290. Okay. Awesome. If you look at the table that's filled out with everything except for that Sunday in 101, now I'm privy to all of the reservations, so I can pick and choose which ones I know I want. But this is the best case scenario. How many of you got to number 12, that rack rate for Sunday for 7 nights, but then you couldn't take it because all your rooms were filled? There was no rooms that you had available for 7 nights, right? And so that's the whole purpose of revenue management, is taking the right room for the right guest on the right day for the right price. Okay. Now, how do we know that we shouldn't take that government rate in advance? Because some of us might just want to have our rooms filled, right? Because if that room sits empty and it's not sold, then we don't get any money from it. And so it is kind of like this game, but it's interesting to be able to, as a revenue manager, one of the things that we will do, or that you will do, is actually look at the rates, look at the discounts that are available, and say, you know what, during this time period, we're not accepting any discounts. We're no longer going to take a corporate rate. We're no longer going to take a rate, a discounted rate, because it's going to prevent us from booking another room from somebody with a higher rate. Okay. And so we'll talk about different strategies as we go throughout the class. Okay. We might repeat this activity a couple of times throughout the class, just to kind of, to me, it's kind of fun, just kind of to figure out the puzzles. If you want to create one and then you want to conduct it during class, and then I will participate, so I won't know what the rates are, and see if you can do that. That would be great. I will post this Excel spreadsheet on Canvas for you if you want to. This is all the formulas are already there. So all you have to do is just type in the numbers and it'll automatically add everything and calculate it. Okay. So if you just want to play with it for a little bit, you can do that and just say, hey, Mr. Minsky, I have this. Can I do it next week? Absolutely. We can definitely do that. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? All right, let's jump into event. What do you mean? No. No. All right. That's true. That's a very good point. Yeah, absolutely. Number 4 was the event rate. Check in Thursday for 3 nights. If you don't want to take that, then you just leave it blank. So that way, later on down the road, if somebody does call, you have those rooms available. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I was just scared to wait for event ones because of, like I said, what if it was a hotel that didn't have all right. So what who can, based on the videos or based on reading the book, did we all get our textbook? Yes, no? Okay, y'all, you have access to a free textbook, okay? Take advantage of it while you can, because I'm not sure how long it's going to be available as a service to the college, okay? You have access to a free textbook. Just check your student emails, and there should be an email in there for you to click on how to reserve it. And then you go to the bookstore and they'll email you when it's ready. And you just give them the order number and they'll give it to you, and it's a free textbook, okay? So there's no excuse to not have the textbook this semester. Based on the videos that were posted and as well as the textbook, what are some industries that use the concept of revenue management? Okay, so cruises do. What else? Good. Airlines. Anybody else? What's that? Hotels, good. Yep. What else? Cruise lines, car rentals, airlines, hotels. Restaurants don't necessarily utilize revenue management. Yeah, the hotels usually, or restaurants usually don't. What do you mean by third parties? No, because I mean, yes, they are a segment of like the hotel industry, but they are the ones who manage the inventory. The actual industry itself, cruises, airlines, car rentals, hotels, they're the ones who are going to actually give inventory to those third parties to say, here, sell them for me. Theme parks. Um, in a way, I guess theme parks could. In a way, there's one more that I was thinking of, and it just left my head. Rentals, airlines, hotels. It literally just left my head. No, not so much casinos, because the concept of revenue management is that once today passes, like we can no longer sell today's hotel room tomorrow, right? So once the plane takes off, I can't just put somebody in that seat in the midair. Or the same thing with the cruise. Once it leaves port, I can't just helicopter somebody in and drop them in for the last 4 days of the cruise, you know? Same thing with car rentals. If my car is not rented that day, then I don't get the money for it that day. Okay. And so these are the main industries that really do embrace the concepts of revenue management, which we'll talk about. So that would be something, same thing, like if we don't sell that advertising space today, then it's gone, right? So in very, very simple terms, we're selling the right room to the right guest on the right day for the right price. Okay. The right room to the right guest on the right day for the right price. That's what revenue management is. We also look at not just the room rate. That's like kind of early stages of revenue management, was just looking at the room rate. We also look at what else is being sold with that room in addition to that room. Okay. So we have to be able to define what our product is. So in our class, for the purposes of our discussion, what is the product that we are selling? We're selling hotel rooms. What else are we selling in hotels besides hotel rooms? The event spaces, okay. The amenities, the spa, the golf, all those different things, right? So a revenue management is going to take a look of the whole big picture look at who's spending what, and how do we maximize the revenue that's coming into the hotel, okay? Competitive benchmarking. What does benchmarking mean? Yeah, absolutely. It's what the goal that we're setting to get to, right? We're looking for that benchmark. So if our benchmark is here, let's say our benchmark is up to here, our sales dollar amount for the year, oh, what just happened? Our sales dollars amount. And let's say throughout the year, our sales are going, that's not a good color for that. Hold on. There we go. Our sales are climbing, 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 and then they end up right there. Did we meet our benchmark? We did not, right? We did not meet our goal. There's a little bit of a gap, but that's okay. Well, maybe it's not okay, but we're closer than we were down here, right? So the benchmark, we have to kind of know what our competitive benchmark is. And oftentimes we compete not only with ourselves, but also with our competitors, other hotels. Okay. We're going to talk about through revenue management, we're going to talk about strategic pricing. So again, how do we sell the right room to the right guest on the right day for the right price? Okay. How do we change our prices? Our hotel prices do not stay the same. Okay. We have to be strategic. There is the concept of demand, supply and demand. Have y'all ever heard of supply and demand? What does it mean? How does supply and demand affect our pricing? Uh-huh. Yeah. So there's a lot of demand and there's not a lot of supply, then the prices are going to go up. But if there's a whole lot of supply and the demand is really low, or maybe it's in the off-season time period, then we have to adjust our prices accordingly. Okay. The business mix is going to be the difference between leisure, group, and business travel. Those are the three major categories: leisure, group, and business. Group and business are slightly different. Business travelers can be a solo business traveler. And let's say I work for, I don't know, give me a big corporation. Target. Okay. So I work for Target and I have my headquarters in a city and there's a hotel really close to my headquarters, right? So we might have lots of business travelers coming in. So I may go to that hotel and say, or if the salesperson's really proactive, they may come to me and say, David, our hotel is right next to your Target headquarters. We'd like to work out a negotiated rate for business travel. Okay. So group means there's a large group of people coming in. They may be traveling all from Target, all the Target salespeople, but group and business are a little bit different. Okay. Target may contract for, I don't know, let's say 100 rooms out of the year, 100 room nights for the year at a specific rate. And that would be business travel. The group rate, they would say, we're going to bring all of our general managers in for a weekend, and we want to do a big group. That would be a group rate. Okay. And then, like Logan was talking about, our distribution channel management. How do we manage distributing our revenue, or sorry, distributing our inventory, our rooms, out to our prospective guests? So revenue management takes into account a lot of that. All right. So here we go. The different areas of focus for revenue management. There's a specific area and the kind of the questions that it's answering or the things that it's going to address. So let's see, everybody write down a number between 1 and 10 on your piece of paper. Any number between 1 and 10. Okay. Hey Siri. Hey Siri. Come on. Hey Siri. Why are you not working? Hey Siri. Pick a number between 1 and 10.
It's 10.
Okay. Siri gave me 10. So who's closest to 10? What number do you have? 9, 8, 7, 7, 5. Okay. Rosa, you're the highest. You're exempt from this activity. Okay. Everybody else, we'll just start in the front and work our way to the, or wait, who had 5? 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. So we'll start with Diego, be number 5. Basically come up here, pick any one of the top 5, and then just draw a line to wherever you think it connects to. So you can pick any single one you want. Up here, I don't. In my office, I do. So which one are you picking?
Rates.
The rates. Okay, when is discounting appropriate? Yes, we are good. All right, Cecilia, you're up next. Which one are you going for? Sales mix. All right, good. What else is sold? Excellent. Victor. Occupancy, okay. How many rooms sold? Excellent, good. Logan?
I think I gotta keep the trend going and get
Distribution channel.
Yeah.
Yep, excellent. All right, and then Audrey by default. You're good. I mean, if you want to go ahead, come on up. The market segmentation is who is buying, okay? Excellent, excellent. How many of y'all guessed? You all knew it? Okay, awesome. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, okay, that occupancy is about number of things that are occupied. So of course, how many rooms are sold, okay? The rates, again, when is discounting appropriate? You'll probably hear me tell the story multiple times, so I apologize if I do. But I remember when I was working at the La Quinta Inn and Suites, it was during coming up on Fiesta, the second weekend of Fiesta, which second weekend of the Fiesta is when the Battle of the Flowers parade, the flambeau, so everything happens that second weekend is usually the busier weekend. So our rate was, I think at that time it was $199 for the night, maybe $209 for a double. Okay. Our normal rate, no, I take that back. I'm sorry, it was $299 for the rate, right? Our normal rate was about $99, 109. But we also had a negotiated rate with HEB since the HEB corporate office is across the street, and that negotiated rate was $85. Now, the corporate rate for $85 at that time was anybody who had an HEB name badge and their most current pay stub to show that they were still an employee. Okay, so that means someone who's just stocking the shelves can come to our hotel and get $85 rate as long as they show their name badge and their most recent pay stub. Okay, so here I am, a new student or new employee. Okay, started in January, so I guess it's actually towards April, so it's towards the end of my practicum. But all of a sudden, I start getting all these calls for $85 rates for this one weekend, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I took the reservation, and then not even 5 minutes later, somebody else calls, and they want the HEB rate on this particular weekend. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me take the reservation. I'm just doing my job, taking my reservations. And then about the third or fourth call, within 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, huh, something's weird. Like, why are they all calling right now? And they're all calling for HEB, right? What do you think they did? They got the phone with me and they called all their friends and were like, hey, call the La Quinta and get the HEB rate. I just made a reservation, right? So I reached out to my sales manager. She was across the hall, across the lobby. And I was just like, hey, I just had like 4 or 5 calls for the HEB rate, and our room rate is going for $299. Like that seems kind of, big discrepancy. And her face just dropped and she's like, oh, I forgot to close out the HEB rate. And so she ran to her computer and she actually told me, she's like, don't take any more of those rates. She's like, I'm going to go close it out right now. And so literally as soon as she walked away, the phone rang. I picked it up. Thank you for calling La Quinta Inn and Suites. This is David. How can I help you? And they're like, I'd like to make a reservation on these days and for the HEB rate. I'm so sorry. Unfortunately, that rate is not available. And they're like, but my friends called. 6 of my friends just called and they all got that rate. And I said, absolutely, your friends did. They were lucky. Unfortunately, because of our occupancy level, certain rates do get closed out. Certain discounts get closed out based on occupancy, and we're beyond that occupancy level. So unfortunately, I can't honor that rate, but I can get you in for $299 if you'd like. And they were like, that's not fair. My friends got it. I said, I understand that, but unfortunately, I can no longer honor that rate. Now, there are some corporate rates that's written into the contract that there's no blackout dates. So that is something that could happen. That didn't happen at the HEB example, but that is something that could happen with that. So as we're looking at different things for, as we're looking for effective revenue management, we have to understand that we have a fixed capacity. I can't just go out and build a new wing of hotel rooms overnight, okay? It's fixed capacity, okay? Our product is perishable, meaning I can't sell tonight's room tomorrow. Once I close out business for today, I can no longer sell that room, okay? I don't get the revenue. We have to have varied but predictable demand, okay? Our demand's going to change, fluctuate, like Rosa mentioned earlier, different seasons, in and out of season, but it is kind of predictable. What's coming up next month in San Antonio? Rodeo, okay? So we know rodeo's coming. We know it's here for almost the full month. We also have the major convention schedule that's happening downtown. So Texas Music Educators Association is always right around Valentine's Day, okay? So those types of things we know are coming up. We can adjust our rates accordingly, okay? The high fixed costs and low variable cost costs a lot of money to build a hotel, okay? That's the fixed cost. And then our variable costs, we think about how much it costs to change over a room. Okay, we'll talk about that. I think, yeah, towards the end of the class today, we'll talk about that variable cost of what it costs us to change over a room. Okay, so we're not going to go into too much of these because we've talked about them, and that's it for chapter 1. Any questions about chapter 1? Okay. So I'm going to stop and create a new video.